they do, race for hundreds of miles only to win or lose by inches. Only perfection will satisfy these men, true racers willing to challenge their equipment and themselves to compete for the sport's biggest prize, the Winston Cup. Only performance will answer questions that often have no solutions. Going around in circles has never been more frustrating or more fabulous. The Winston Cup season stretches from the early spring-like dawn at Daytona to that frosty autumn evening in Atlanta. The 10 months and thousands of miles in between are stockpiled with 34 uncompromising contests of speed and agility, a fast and unforgiving chase from coast to coast, filled with the glory of accomplishment and the grief of failure. It's a season-long calendar so tightly crammed with combustible competition that every mistake is a costly one. The vigil for victory has begun. A new season, another chance. At Daytona, hearts stop when the Winston Cup season starts. And the last chance to catch your breath is now, before they go green. ESPN welcomes you to the Daytona International Speedway in Daytona Beach, Florida. The Winston Cup Series is poised to begin the new season, and it's the closing hours before they go green. Hi, everybody. I'm Bill Weber, and later in the show, I'll be joined by former Winston Cup champion Benny Parsons and our regular NASCAR Today reporters Ray Dunlap and Matt Yoakum. These are the final few hours of preparation and anticipation. The final few hours that wrap up just over 80 days of what is confusingly labeled as an off-season. The first of 34 races gets the green flag just after high noon on Sunday, the start of a season where the two big stories are the changes and the chase. The 2000 season puts more emphasis on talent and teamwork than ever before. For the first time, every legitimate contender for the Winston Cup Championship has a driving partner, a teammate on the track. Every Ford and Chevrolet team has worked through December and January to fine-tune a revised body style. Even the top teams have not been immune to the turnover within the crew. And new faces bring new enthusiasm to a series already boiling over with incredible talent. The Winston Cup Series begins the new year with a new champion to represent the sport off the track and challenge for the championship on the track. That man is 1999 Winston Cup champion Dale Jarrett, and I know you never get tired of hearing that, do you?
No, never get tired of that. It's been said a lot and sounds good.
The first one is tough to win. Is the second one tougher?
I don't know that it's going to be tougher. I mean, we know now what it takes to win the championship and what we have to do to accomplish that. So hopefully it won't be as tough. I hope it doesn't take as long to win the second. I may not be around that long.
Everyone has tried to make their team better to catch your team. What has your team done to get another step ahead so they can't catch you?
Well, we've tried to make sure that we didn't just sit still. Obviously, as many people know, we've got a new pit crew, a professional pit crew. Not that the other guys weren't professional, it's just these guys are dedicated solely to doing pit stops, which is going to free up our other guys to do their jobs more efficiently and to get a little bit of rest, hopefully. So that's what we've tried to do. We've hired a few extra people in the shop to make sure that we can stay on top of things and be ahead of the game.
The fans and a number of people in the garage seem to think your strongest competition could come from your new teammate.
I think very definitely that could. I'm excited for Ricky Rudd to be back. You can just see that he's kind of like a kid in a candy store right now, that, you know, he's worked so hard with his own team for so many years here that it's kind of drained him of having fun. Now he's having fun again. He knows he has a chance each and every week to go out and win, and I definitely think if we're going to win the championship, he's definitely somebody we have to beat.
And he's the most experienced teammate you've had, so that could help your chances.
I think it's going to help both of us. I really look forward to working with Ricky. You know, when you get someone with Ricky's winning experience, you don't get that in a lot of people out here that you can have as your teammate. And when he tells me something about the car, a change that they've made, I can believe that. I know that he's felt that before and he knows what he's talking about. So that means a lot to us. So it should benefit our team greatly.
How well can you focus on what's going on the racetrack with all the additional demands that are going to be made of you this year?
Well, that's the one thing that we can't lose sight of is what got us here and why we are the champions. And we know that there's a responsibility that we have to the fans, to the media, to our sport. But the other side of it is we're here to race, and we have to make sure that as much as we try to take care of off the track, that we do our job on the track. And so Todd's not going to let me lose sight of that, and I'm not going to lose sight of that, because more than anything else, as much as I enjoy everything else, I love to drive race cars, and I love to get into victory lane.
Well, you're off to a great start. Best of luck this year.
Thanks a lot, Bill.
Dale Jarrett, the reigning Winston Cup champion. Now, 1999 was an amazing year for Jarrett. It was an exciting year for all of us. Here's the whole season in a single minute.
John Andretti wins the Martinsville Goodies Body Paint 500.
Maybe you'll be coming around 26 car, okay?
And in his 25th NASCAR Winston Cup race, Tony Stewart wins.
My fault. Okay.
Sideways, but he's not going to be able to do it as Rusty Wallace wins the Queen City Cup. Perhaps seeing the beginning of another reign here. Oh, and Earnhardt spins him out. Oh, man.
Coming up, he could be the $6 million man of Winston Cup racing. They did rebuild him, and if they made him better than he was, the rest of the field better watch out. Mark Martin, next.
Today we'll be making Mongolian beef with truffles tartuffe. Everyone, open your yellow pages under catering. End of recipe. Oh, what fun we've had today.
Where is the boy?
Okay, let's go. Come on.
Colin McRae, born to race. Rated E for everyone. Colin McRae Rally.
Colin! PlayStation.
If you think all ATVs are created equal, you've never ridden a Yamaha. The new Kodiak 400 Automatic and Big Bear 400 from Yamaha. 'Cause out here, bears rule. Now, get low payments on every Yamaha ATV, starting at just $69 a month during Yamaha All-Terrain Value Days.
Our days are pretty busy, so when we decided to get a wireless phone, we went to Circuit City.
We asked about digital, analog, PCS, calling areas, and rate plans.
They answered all of our questions, helped us find this great phone and the perfect rate plan for us.
Right now at Circuit City, you'll get a $50 gift card free with any wireless phone purchase. Choose from great brands like Motorola, Nokia, Ericsson, and more. Let Circuit City clear the air on wireless phones today.
The top pro golfer made $25 million last year. The president, a few $100,000. What does that say about America?
'57 Winston Cup cars came to the Daytona International Speedway last week. Only 43 take the green flag Sunday afternoon. Just one will finish the day in victory lane. Jeff Burton had an outstanding year in 1999, winning 6 races, twice taking home the Noble Million, and finishing 5th in points. Are you excited about what you accomplished, or are you more frustrated by the goals that remain just outside your reach?
Well, we're excited about it, and we're also frustrated about it. Winning 6 races is always a great thing. What we didn't do well is we weren't as consistent as we needed to be. I got us in too many wrecks, and we had too many mechanical problems, so we have to eliminate those things.
Is there anything you've been specifically able to work on during the off-season to enhance your championship chances?
Well, I believe we made our pit stops better. I believe that our cars are better. I think that the quality of people that we have, we've upped that. We have looked at every single piece of our race program and tried to make it better. That's what we're going to have to do if we want to win the championship. We've got to improve every single piece, some more than others. Some things we probably could keep the same as we had last year, but other things we've got to get quite a bit better.
Then what are your expectations?
Well, we have high expectations. what we want to be able to do is to truly contend for the championship. You know, what that means is at the end of 2000, everybody's saying, oh, you did a good job, had a great opportunity. That's different than really doing it. We need to be able to go to the last race of the year as a team that everybody is saying is still in a chance to win the championship. We need to experience that. We need to, it's time to do it. This team's been in existence long enough now to try to go get it done. I think, like I said, I think we have the people. I think we can do it. It's just a matter of, we haven't done a good job of putting all the little things together. We have to get that done.
And you think your team is mature enough at this point to challenge for the title?
If we're not, I'd be really surprised. You know, this is Frank's 3rd year as a crew chief. Buddy Parrott's still there with us. We've got Jimmy Finnan and Mark to lean on. We've got a lot of experienced people, maybe not so much just on the 99 team, but around us. And I think that's a tremendous advantage, is being able to lean on their experience. And we've gained a lot of experience ourselves, too. You gain experience by doing things right and by doing them not so right. And I think that we've been willing to look at the things that we haven't done well in an effort to try to learn.
Always good to see you. Thanks for coming by.
Seeing you.
Best of luck this year. Jeff Burton joining us here. Now, we've already talked about how many teammates can work together and how teamwork could be the biggest story of the upcoming season. One of Jeff Burton's teammates is the man that finished 3rd in Winston Cup points last season, and a popular preseason pick to finish this season 1st, Mark Martin. He brings to this hectic forum of speed and accuracy the patient commitment and focus of a dedicated surgeon. 41-year-old Mark Martin isn't just another racer. From February to November, he is just a racer. Intense, intuitive, brimming with integrity and intelligence. This is an individual taking inventory of everyone and everything while concentrating on only one thing, winning. Martin brings quiet muscle and peace of mind to this noisy, nerve-wracking glut of high-strung people and high-tuned horsepower. Often stoic, but never really standing still, because his mind is always racing. His smile is charming, his laugh sincere, but both are rare when this racer is at the track. Mark Martin will make his 425th career start in the Daytona 500, chasing his 32nd career win, and still trying to capture his first Winston Cup championship. 2 victories in 1999 highlighted another promising run at the series title, a run that was tripped up by a bruising crash at Daytona in July, and a frustrating run of finishes from mid-September through the middle of October. Once again, Mark Martin had a season other drivers might dream of, but it left him tossing and turning, another nightmare of what might have been. Off-season back surgery kept Martin off the track, but his hopes for a successful run at the series championship this year were never derailed. After some on-track experimenting in 1999, his well-oiled team is ready to race and ready to win in 2000. Martin won 7 races in 1998, but has won just twice in his last 39 starts. Sure, he spent most of the offseason flat on his back, recovering from surgery, but you can bet his mind was already racing. Mark Martin has 31 career victories in the Winston Cup Series. He has finished in the top 10 in points for 11 straight seasons. The last 7 years, he has finished 5th or better. Of course, Mark won 2 races last year, but your biggest race might have been getting ready for this season off the track. For those fans that haven't heard yet, the surgery's over and you feel great.
I feel really good. I feel 20 years younger. And, you know, I wasn't sure about 6 weeks after the surgery if we were going to really be ready or not, but we had a long-term plan laid out, and you know, the goal was to be bulletproof when we got here in February, and it came together. The last 3 weeks, you know, it came together fast.
Now, you weren't supposed to move after that surgery, right? What, 2 hours a day or something like that?
That's about it, yeah.
Did you cheat? You cheated one day, didn't you?
I cheated.
You almost got caught, didn't you?
No, I did get caught.
Okay.
You know, it's kind of like NASCAR. It's hard to get away with it in a small community and everybody watching, but what I found is that when I cheated, it hurt. And I knew when it hurt that was impeding the healing process. And my doctor, you know, Dr. Comer told me, he says, you know, we can do this thing all over again, but you won't be ready for Daytona in February. And obviously, it made it easy not to cheat because I could feel it. You know, whenever I got up, stood up, sat up for very long, it would hurt. And, you know, I knew that was slowing down the healing process.
Mark, a lot of people down here are picking you to win the championship this year. Is this your best shot?
Well, I think that people are picking that for a couple of reasons. One is, you know, that we've been close a lot of times, and there's a lot of people that would like to see us win a championship. You know, and there's also some thoughts that maybe I've been, you know, my performance has been impeded by, you know, the pain that I've had the last couple of years. And, you know, I'm not sure about that just yet, but I have a great race team with Jimmy Finnig and the Valvoline Cummins team. We've got a great car with the new Taurus. And this is a brand new year, and everybody's starting at zero, so we're going to give it our best shot.
Okay, well, you've got the new car, you're healed, and probably your best season in years just ahead of you. Best of luck to you.
Thanks,
Mark,
Bill.
thanks for coming by. Mark Martin joining us here on Before They Go Green. Coming up as we continue, a look at the team that has changed personnel but doesn't plan to change its winning colors. A look at three-time series champion Jeff Gordon is next.
Come on in to BW3 Buffalo Wild Wings, the home of real authentic buffalo wings. Whether it's for lunch, dinner, or after work and late night fun, there's something for everyone at BW3 Buffalo Wild Wings, like our huge dine-in and carry-out menu, featuring over 40 choices, and our multiple big screen satellite sports. The best seat in town is at BW3 Buffalo Wild Wings. Come see why people drive miles for our award-winning wings in 12 different sauces. BW3 Buffalo Wild Wings, 5 Indianapolis locations.
Life is being in two places at the same time.
Life is never knowing what's going to happen next.
Life is having your weekends already planned for you.
We know you don't have time to stop. And at National City, you can do your banking on your own schedule. Even pay bills online. So you don't have to slow down unless you want to. National City. Follow your own lead.
Hoops is hanging out on Sunday.
If you're looking for hoops, look no further than ESPN 2.
First up, it's an ACC shootout when Donald Hand and the Cavaliers light up against Chris Lang and North Carolina. Then,
he's a PTPer, baby, a primetime player.
Diego Guevara leads the 49ers in a Conference USA matchup with Kelly Wise and Memphis. Virginia, North Carolina at 4, NC Charlotte, Memphis at 7:30. Tomorrow on ESPN 2.
Okay, so what do you think happened? Why did the reign of the Rainbow Warriors come to an end? And can Jeff Gordon, crew chief Robbie Loomis, and former crew chief Brian Weitzel recover the championship form we've come to expect from the 24 team? The first race of the season is Sunday, but the answers to some difficult questions are still many weeks away.
Jeff Gordon begins the 2000 season under a motorsports microscope that we have seldom seen. Despite the success and the smiles, his peers and his rivals now watch with renewed interest and greater intensity to see if internal change triggers greater rewards or unfamiliar frustration. His accomplishments in the Winston Cup Series have earned him acclaim and admiration. His wins and reputation make him a solid part of the foundation for his sport as it roars into a new century.
You know, I have a lot that we've accomplished and a lot of things that I like to look back on, but we're going forward. It's the new millennium, and you know, there's a lot of exciting things that are happening that I think definitely going to make our future very bright.
This season, everything about this man and his team are new. New crew chief, new cars, new teammates, and new goals. But into this new year, Gordon brings with him the same old desire, the desire that has carried him to 3 Winston Cup championships and 49 career wins. Gordon began 1999 chasing an historic accomplishment, 3 consecutive Winston Cup championships. History did not happen. He led the points race for just 7 days last season, the first 7 days. And while he piled up 7 wins, his hope for history and happiness unraveled when his race team was depleted by defection, dissension, and finally, desertion.
It's like the last thing that I wanted to ever have happen. I thought we were going to be together forever. But because of that, and it's funny because he and I talked about this as it was happening, I feel like I'm stronger and more focused. I feel like this team is very well structured and very focused and determined to go out there and be competitive. And live up to what the 24 DuPont Chevrolet team has done in the past.
Rarely is such a decorated athlete so constantly scoured for flaws and imperfections. But in Gordon's case, great success has always meant tougher scrutiny, especially by rival fans watching every lap, waiting for every glitch, and roaring their approval for every failure. Only 9 men have won more Winston Cup races than Jeff Gordon. If he can mirror his 7 wins from last season, he could become the 7th biggest winner in the history of the sport. We're going to work at it and make it work. I think it's going to work, fairly quick. But if it doesn't, we're gonna make it, work, and just, hard work and dedication is what it takes. And if you can find the key people that work well together, and then bring in the experience and the knowledge, and then take those people together as a core and as a group, you're going to be successful. And I think we've got that. Certainly intriguing questions hover over Gordon, his race team, and the possibility of restitution. New crew chief Robbie Loomis could be in a difficult situation. Winning here is expected. Not winning here has shown it is not accepted. Jeff Gordon is a proven champion, surrounded by a haze of mystery and deep concern. His brilliant past shrouded in the mist of a suddenly uncertain future. Can fresh leadership, polished talent, and untested teamwork clear the air and give flash to the Gordon of bygone championships? Or will the famous color and charisma of this racing rainbow disappear into a cloud of darkness and disappointment, vanquished by its own victorious sunshine? Normally, 3 7s are pretty good, but not in this case. The 7 wins and the 7 poles led the league. The 7 DNFs led to the downfall of the 24 team last season. If Gordon expects to challenge for the championship again this season, he'll have to beat Bobby Labonte and Tony Stewart. When Joe Gibbs Racing created a second team and matched the promising Stewart with the proven Labonte, everything clicked. The combination became Winston Cup Racing's premier tandem, the best multi-car team on the track. Bobby Labonte's successful season in 1998 resulted in 2 wins and a 6th place finish in the points. In 1999, he proved to be a serious contender for the championship. Teammate Tony Stewart set a rookie record with 3 wins and demonstrated how to make it in Winston Cup racing. The combination proved to be more lethal to the competition than any other multi-car team. Dale Jarrett won the championship. His teammate Kenny Irwin struggled. Jeff Gordon had 7 of the 8 wins at Hendrick Motorsports, a 3-car operation.
We went into the season with a different approach to a multi-car team than anybody else has, and that was the standpoint that all of our cars are in the same shop together. The guys that work on Bobby's cars on the weekend, you might see them work on my car during the week and vice versa. We're one team, but when Thursday comes around, we have to put Home Depot shirts on and Interstate Battery shirts on, and that's the only time that we separate into 2 teams, but we still function as one team at the racetrack, and I think that's what's made us successful this year.
From the first race on, it was good. I mean, Greg and Jimmy, I mean, their offices are right across from each other, and the blinds are open, the doors are open, so it's open. Everything's open. So that's what's, I think, the big success, the big key to it.
The next step for Labonte and Stewart, continue their climb. Labonte doesn't have far to go, finishing 2nd in the points last season. Stewart needs to prove he can duplicate and maybe even surpass what he accomplished in his outstanding freshman season.
We hope we have that kind of success again this year. The way we looked at our season, we had a pretty clean year. That's a season, you take that whole year, and that's what it takes to win a championship. But we're going to go into the season with the same preparation we did last year, and just try to make small changes to hopefully improve on each area of the season that we need to hopefully be in a position to be there at the end.
I've learned a lot running up front as many times as we did last year over the year before, and hopefully we can just put all the pieces together and make that puzzle the right one to win a championship one day. And if it's next year, it's next year. If it's not, it's not. We just got to keep trying. We've got to keep working at it. But hopefully that we'll make all the right moves from this past experience this year to do it.
Tony Stewart was a rookie that raced like a veteran. Can some of these guys follow in his tire tracks? Dale Earnhardt Jr. and Matt Kenseth join us for a look at the freshman class of 2000 next.
I love strawberries.
I love you.
Mozzarella, luscious toppings, a fresh baked crust.
You invited a pizza delivery guy here? What kind of girl do you think I am?
But it's not delivery.
It's DiGiorno.
For fresh baked pizza at home, it's not delivery. It's DiGiorno.
I'll call you.
Since we started offering help, we've seen a reduction in absenteeism, mistakes, injuries.
I knew I had a problem, but I was afraid to ask for help.
Something was wrong. We were really worried about him. If anyone here asks, we can help.
Ask about drug or alcohol treatment referral at your company or call 1-800-662-HELP.
I'm lucky to be working in a place that's giving me another chance.
Tonight on ESPN, a college hoops doubleheader at 7, Nebraska at Oklahoma State. At 9, Notre Dame battles Seton Hall, followed by the late Sports Center. On ESPN2 at 6, Sports Center. At 7, race number 2 of the America's Cup Finals. And beginning at 11, a triple feature of RPM Tonight, NHL Tonight, and NBA Tonight. And on ESPN Classic, at 6, a Daytona 500 Marathon waves the checkered flag in the early 80s. Do you have all the ESPN networks?
43 drivers begin the 2000 season Sunday. For a handful of drivers, it is the realization of their racing dream, a full-time competitor in the Winston Cup Series, a rookie. And while the Daytona 500 is the kind of race that can make your season, the real test comes down the road to see if the cutthroat competition will break their spirit.
We're building for the future. We're building for 2-3 years down the road. If we can be in the top 20 this year, top 15 next year, and the top 10 the year after that, then that's what we need to do.
We can't get in the race. We can't go racing. If we don't go racing, then I'm not going to have the opportunity to learn. You know, racing with these guys week in and week out, scrapping it out, learning about the draft, working on the setup of the car through the long runs. If we can't get in the race, I'll never learn that. So our focus is getting into every race and going racing and learn as much as we can.
What we're really shooting for, I guess, is a Rookie of the Year. And there's a lot of good rookies this year. And we're trying to also go to every race in the first 5 and make the program.
We don't have any just rock solid, you know, we got to meet these numbers. We're just going to do the best we can do every week and make sure I get as much time in these cars as I can. And, you know, that means racing all day, not wrecking the car.
I expect that we're going to be contenders for that rookie chase. I know that it's probably the most stellar rookie crop ever, but we fully intend to, you know, to be amongst them.
A rookie class that is crowded with talent. Those 5 drivers and these 2 fresh from their battles in the Busch Series, Dale Earnhardt Jr. and Matt Kenseth. No pressure on you 2 guys at all this year, right? You can just go out there and just relax and race and whatever.
That's about the same as it's always been, maybe a little bit more.
Yeah.
Just a little bit more.
There's a little bit more on me, that's for sure. I feel like there is, but maybe it's just because it's new and it's uncharted territory for me, and I think a lot greater challenge than I've ever been up against.
Where do you think that pressure is coming from? Is it fans, crews, yourself, your dad?
Yeah, just myself. I mean, my sponsor, Budweiser, my crew, the fans, my father, everybody's done as much as they can to try to make it as easy a transition for me as possible, but I still expect a lot, so that's where the pressure comes from.
You feel the same way?
Well, yeah, I mean, there's a lot of pressure in Winston Cup, besides being the biggest rookie class in a long time, so there's a lot of expectations. Juniors beat me 2 years in a row. I don't want them to beat me again, and plus we got another 5 or 6 people that have real good backing and real good teams, real good drivers. So I think the Rookie of the Year thing is going to be something that's going to be fun to watch this year.
And Tony Stewart buried all you guys, though. I mean, now you got to go out and, before you had to beat Davy's record, now you got to go out and try and beat Tony's. Is that possible for a rookie to do you think?
It's probably possible for someone to do. I don't expect it out of myself or out of our team this year. I think that would be quite a bit to expect, and he finished 4th in points and won 3 races, so it's not definitely not something that I expect, but we're just going to do the best we can and try to get some experience.
Is that the target, though?
Yeah, it definitely is. I mean, he raised the level for all the rookies, and I think that if you look at each of the teams, there's something about each team, mine, Matt, Scott Pruitt, Dave Blaney, and the other fellas, that's possible. If you look at each team, there's something about it that's possible for them to have that type of success. I mean, Scott Pruitt's team, I think, is a lot better than a lot of people realize or have given him credit for, and Dave Blaney's a lot better race car driver than he probably has been given credit for in the past. And me and Matt stepped into 2 great programs that are ready for success right away. So I think that you could see some guys win some races, maybe more than just one rookie could win a race.
Everybody expects both of you to win this year, though, in the Winston Cup Series because you've been so successful in the past. Do each of you expect to win?
I think so. I mean, it's kind of hard to explain, but I mean, we want to win races. We all come here to win races. When we're practicing here in Daytona, it's just only the first race of the year, but we're still trying to set our car up to win the race, and that's the ultimate goal. I think that after a while, we'll get a little closer to that goal. Maybe it might not happen this year, maybe it might not happen that next year, but we ultimately want to win, but we haven't never done it before, so we don't know exactly how far we got to go before we get there.
But it is on your list of expectations. You do want to be in victory lane, and you expect to be in victory lane before this year's over?
I don't expect to be in victory lane before this year's over. I expect to win races sometime in the future, but if it didn't happen this year, it wouldn't be a total disaster. That's obviously what we aim at every week, is try to win a race, but yet Winston Cup is a big step. There's a lot of competition. It's something that we haven't done much before, so right now we're trying to build a team that hopefully in the future can be a contender to win races and a contender to win the championship years on down the road. So I think that we have all the potential to do that, but I don't know if it'll happen halfway through the year this year or in 2 years or in 3 years. So it just kind of depends upon how fast we all come together.
Matt Kenseth, Dale Earnhardt Jr., thanks for coming by. Best of luck to both of you this year and many years to come.
Thanks, Bill. Thank you.
A lot of talent in the rookie class this year, and they've got some impressive numbers to try and match, especially those put up by Tony Stewart and these other gentlemen over the last few years. The rookie class of 2000 has a big chore ahead of them. Next, the man, the choice, the challenge, and that elusive 8th championship.
If you think all ATVs are created equal, you've never ridden a Yamaha. The new Kodiak 400 Automatic and Big Bear 400 from Yamaha. 'Cause out here, bears rule. Now, get low payments on every Yamaha ATV, starting at just $69 a month during Yamaha All-Terrain Value Days.
Our days are pretty busy, so when we decided to get a wireless phone, we went to Circuit City.
We asked about digital, analog, PCS, calling areas, and rate plans.
They answered all of our questions, helped us find this great phone and the perfect rate plan for us.
Right now at Circuit City, you'll get a $50 gift card free with any wireless phone purchase. Choose from great brands like Motorola, Nokia, Ericsson, and more. Let Circuit City clear the air on wireless phones today.
This weekend, ESPN and ESPN2 are live from Daytona for Speed Weeks. From the first ever Craftsman Trucks race to our happy hour coverage, we'll have you prepared for the big race. For more complete coverage, more races, and more on-site reporters, tune into Speed Weeks on ESPN and ESPN2.
The Daytona 500 will always stand as stock car racing's most treasured prize. The past generation of racers competed here, and so will the next. Win here, it goes right to the top of the bio sheet, unless the first line says Winston Cup champion. Terry Labonte and Rusty Wallace have already filled in that first line. Sunday, both hope to fill in the next line.
I would like to win the Daytona 500. I'd like to win the Brickyard 400. I'd like to win at Talladega. I've won just about everywhere else, but some of those racetracks have eluded me, and I haven't been able to win there, but I've come awful close. The 98 Daytona 500, I was right there. The 99 Daytona 500, right there. And so hopefully 2000's a year.
We'd love to win the Daytona 500, and that would be the biggest race, that anybody could ever win, and I've never won it. I think I finished second like 3 times, but, close doesn't count.
Rusty Wallace finished in the top 10 in points last season. Terry Labonte did not. The numbers never lie. These numbers indicate both drivers had an off season last year. They're hoping to improve these stats in the year 2000. Dale Earnhardt's pursuit of a win in the Daytona 500 had more twists and turns and sad endings than a Brady Bunch reunion. But in 1998, the man won the race. Now the man is after the record, an 8th Winston Cup championship.
Definitely should have been higher in the points. We should have been in the top 5, and we made some mistakes, had some problems. We crashed at Rockingham both races. Things like that, you can't win championships. You can't place high in the points. And We know that. We look back and look at our championship season, those top 5 win you those races and win those championships, and that's what it's all about. And we know that's what we got to do in the year 2000 to win it.
That sounds like the Dale Earnhardt of old, the one race fans have watched win 7 Winston Cup championships. That's the Dale Earnhardt many fans hope to see this season. And that's the Earnhardt he'll need to show them if the 48-year-old driver hopes to chase down that 8th championship. Fast, aggressive, up front when it counts, at the end.
That's the game, and to go out here and be one of the cars to be reckoned with every race. And you can look through the scoreboard, and Jarrett's top 5s and wins won him the championship, and that's what we intend to do, and that's won us a lot of championships. And every year you go at working hard and trying to make things as best you can and to go out and win races and win championships, and this is our next best chance.
Earnhardt spent almost all of the offseason off the track, recovering from neck surgery performed in mid-December. At the end of long races, Earnhardt was bothered by back pain and numbness in his hands. He didn't test a race car until January 31st in Las Vegas.
Definitely a great operation. Dr. Branch and the guys did a super job at Wake Forest Baptist and fixing the vertebrae and bolting it, putting them in a little plate in there, fixing them up really nice, and got rid of the pain just automatically. And I went through a period of healing up, and now we're back in the car. It felt good to come out and get in the car, and I ran some long runs and feel good in the race car. Feel pretty sporty, so we should be in good shape for his racing this year.
Earnhardt is convinced he is not only healthier, but stronger and more confident. He's also more inspired. Each week this season, he will race against his son. They sparred sporadically last year in 5 Winston Cup races and in the IROC Series. This year, it's Earnhardt against Earnhardt, father against son, every race. A relationship and a rivalry that should showcase the renewed enthusiasm of a sparkling veteran, invigorated by the fountain of youth.
He's excited about it. I'm excited about it. We went through all this with 5 races last year and got him in tune and got his program started and got him heading in the right direction. We just see where it goes. I'm gonna try to win another championship with that 3 team and see where I go. I gotta do like I've done my whole racing career and focus on what I'm doing. And if I do everything right, everything else will come along behind it. And Dale Jr. is on track and he's on his own.
Now, coming up on Before They Go Green, this cast of characters is here so they can claim an extra day of per diem and look ahead to the wins and the whys of the season just in front of us. We'll be right back.
Where is the boy?
Okay, let's go. Come on.
McRae, born to race. Rated E for everyone. Colin McRae Rally.
Colin!
PlayStation.
ESPN the magazine. Well, thank you for calling. Dan, can I put you on hold? Dan Patrick wants a free Polo Fleece pullover.
He writes a column for the magazine. But he's not a new subscriber.
Sorry, Dan. No can do on the fleece. It's only for new subscribers. You mean you're actually calling to subscribe?
Okay, sure. Okay.
Everyone wants our warm, roomy Polar Fleece pullover. It has a half-zip front and embroidered ESPN the magazine logo. And best of all, it's free.
ESPN the magazine. It's Rich Eisen. He's called 3 times.
Sorry, Rich. I agree, it's a great-looking fleece, but it's only for new subscribers.
Subscribe now to ESPN the magazine and get your sports the way it ought to be. Big and bold, fast and furious. With in-your-face photos, amazing interviews, and behind-the-scenes coverage of what's happening now and what's happening next. All with ESPN attitude.
Stuart Scott wants the fleece.
Booyah! Call now for ESPN the magazine. Get 26 issues, a year's worth for just $1 an issue. That's 66% off the newsstand price. And your fleece pullover is free.
It's Chris Berman. He could go all the way!
Call now for ESPN the magazine and your free fleece pullover. 1-800-491-2233.
Beginning Sunday morning at 11:30 Eastern Time, the return of NASCAR Today. We'll have the pre-race report leading up to each and every Winston Cup event this season. And before each race, I'll be joined by Benny Parsons, Ray Dunlap, and Matt Yoakum. And our goal is to make sure you're race ready when the green flag falls. Now, these guys are here today so they can deduct that nifty Navy blazer from their tax return. And while they are here, let's touch on a few of the topics the fans have been talking about leading into the 2000 season. Several thousand fans voted in our ESPN.com poll, and we thank you for participating. Question number one, what is the biggest story going into 2000? Number one on this hit list, Jeff Gordon's road to the top, followed by the battle for the Rebestos Rookie of the Year title. Then it's Earnhardt chasing that elusive 8th Winston Cup, and the new combination of Rudd and Jarrett.
Jeff Gordon battled to the top 5 years ago. Where is that a story?
He didn't win the Winston Cup last year.
Okay, that's a story. But the biggest story in 2000 will be the Rebestos Rookie of the Year. I mean, we've got 7, 8 quality race car drivers. They have some great teams, and that will be the continuing story all year long.
The biggest battle, I think, throughout the year is the rookies. I think the biggest battle going into the year, the manufacturers battle, a lot of unknowns. Ford and Chevy bring out new pieces. Pontiac has the same car. If one make jumps out and dominates early, I think that could hurt guys like maybe Bobby Labonte and Tony Stewart, who had the same package as last year, and they're hoping to carry over that dominance that they had at the end of '99.
Well, a couple of stories might come from off the racetrack. Bill France Jr. has cancer. We don't know how bad that is. The other thing is Article 4. A lot of people talking about how much control NASCAR wants to bring back within. Drivers and crew chiefs in the garage are saying, what's this all mean? We'll find out as the year goes on.
Over 27,000 people voted in our next question, who will win the Winston Cup? Again, at the top of the list, Jeff Gordon, followed by Earnhardt, Mark Martin, who of course has never won a championship, Bobby Labonte, Tony Stewart, and 6th on this list, Dale Jarrett, just 5.9%. Who are you voting for?
I'm not voting for anyone because I think it's too close to call, but if I had to, if someone put a gun to my head and said, you've got to vote, I certainly would put Dale Jarrett closer than 6th place and certainly have him a better than a 5% chance because I think he and the team have the same intensity that they had last year when they won the championship.
I really think it's going to be one of the Gibbs cars, Bobby Labonte or Tony Stewart. If you look at the organization, over the past 5 years, they have gone to a Pontiac, started an in-house engine program, they've built a new shop, they started another team. I really think this year is the first year they haven't had a major change and they can focus completely on the Winston Cup Championship. I think probably leaning more towards Bobby Labonte just because of his experience and his maturity. And I think the 18 car is going to win it, maybe the 20, 2nd or 3rd.
I cannot figure out where Jeff Burton is on this list. He's not even on there. The guy won 6 races last year, $5.7 million, and I think he really only made one critical error last year. That was at Pocono when he admitted he caused a crash down there in turn number 2. But this team is ready to go, and Frank Stoddard's off pit road and back up on the box. They'll win the Winston Cup.
I don't know what he had for breakfast, but I'll tell you why Jeff Burton will not win the Winston Cup Championship. Every 4.7 races, he had to use a provisional. Qualifying has been a hindrance for the '99 team. They've got to fix that.
It doesn't matter where you start, Matt. It matters where you finish.
Ray, 18.4 is his average start. 11.2 is average finish. DJ was 6.7 last year. That's the difference in the Cup.
Okay, let's finish that question and get on to the next one. Who's getting to victory lane for the first time in the year 2000? Will it be one of the rookies or will it be Mike Skinner who finished 2nd in this poll?
I know the answer to that question. And it will be Mike Skinner because he's ready. I mean, Larry McReynolds last year undecided. Was he going to start his own team? Was he going to stay with Richard Childress? He is there. He's staying there. Mike Skinner, some personal problems last year. That's resolved. They will win not only one race, probably 2 or 3 races this year.
And also Skinner is healthy. I think a healthy Skinner could be trouble for some guys, but I think Dale Earnhardt Jr., if you look back to his Busch campaign, he won his first Busch race and his 16th start, just like the Big E and Winston Cup. If you look at the calendar, the 16th race will be Richmond this year, a race where he finished 10th last year.
Well, I'm not as confident as Benny is, but I think Steve Park better go to victory lane before your guy, Dale Earnhardt Jr. They've got the team in place. Paul Andrews is over there. They've got Steve Meal looking over the operation, and Park has more experience than Dale Earnhardt Jr. I think the one car goes to victory lane in the year 2000.
A lot of questions right now as we get ready to start the season. We'll get some answers as the year rolls along. Thanks for coming by, you guys. Have a great year out there.
Okay.
Next on the show, the newest member of our ESPN team. He knows he'll never win a championship with this crew, but he can take you places you've never been before. Ray Evernham joins us for a look at 2 new bodies here at the beach.
The biggest change that you'll see, the 1998 cars had a very round rear window. What they've done is straighten the edge of the rear window, which gives them a different C-pillar shape, which is very important aerodynamically because the C-pillar controls how the air gets to the rear spoiler.
Come on in to BW3 Buffalo Wild Wings, the home of real authentic buffalo wings. Whether it's for lunch, dinner, or after work and late night fun, there's something for everyone at BW3 Buffalo Wild Wings, like our huge dine-in and carry-out menu, featuring over 40 choices, and our multiple big-screen satellite sports. The best seat in town is at BW3 Buffalo Wild Wings. Come see why people drive miles for our award-winning wings in 12 different sauces. BW3 Buffalo Wild Wings, 5 Indianapolis locations.
Hey Indianapolis, Loon Lake Lodge wants you to show us your bass. Just send us a picture of your best catch and you could win big. The first 25 entries receive 2 tickets to the Indy Boat Sport and Travel Show. Second prize includes an Outdoor Life Fleece Vest and a $25 gift certificate to Loon Lake Lodge. First prize is an Outdoor Life Sports Watch and a $50 gift certificate to Loon Lake Lodge. And the grand prize is a weekend getaway for 4 at Wasatch Lake, along with a $100 gift certificate from Loon Lake Lodge. Winners will be decided by random drawing on March 8th. Send your photos to Show Us Your Bass, care of Comcast, 7444 Shadeland Station Way, Indianapolis 46256.
But doing a show is emotionally and physically exhausting. Afterwards, the last thing you want to do is talk to the media. But we're professionals. We do our job.
Like Dan doesn't step on everyone's lines every show, whether it's me or whether it's whatever the guy's name is used to the show. But I mean, you know, he's always doing that, and it's his show.
Yeah, it's the greatest job in the world. That's what I tell you guys. But when I go home, I go into a little shell. I go down to my basement, and I sit there, and I just think. I think, what am I doing with my life?
Dodge won the Rolex 24-hour race here just under 2 weeks ago. People were already giving Ray Evernham credit for taking Dodge to victory lane at Daytona. Well, Ray can't take a Dodge to victory lane until next season. But this season, he can take you behind the scenes to learn more about Winston Cup racing and the people who make it go. For his first assignment, we sent Ray to victory lane to compare 2 new body styles, hoping to get there on Sunday.
In 1998, at the Daytona 500, Ford debuted a new Taurus to compete against a proven Chevrolet Monte Carlo. At the 2000 Daytona 500, Ford is back with a proven Taurus with minor changes to race against a brand new Chevrolet Monte Carlo. Let's look at the changes that were made to the proven Ford Taurus. Let's start with the front of the car, because that's where the Ford people did, and that's a good idea because the front of the car hits the air first. What they've done is made the nose of the car smoother, lower, laid the headlight doors back, which is a little better aerodynamically. The second thing they did was take the so-called power dome out of the hood, which should be, again, better aerodynamically and might help air into the cowl, which should help the engine run. Going to the windshield and roof, basically the same as 1998. The biggest change that you'll see is the 1998 Taurus had a very round rear window. What they've done is straighten the edge of the rear window, which gives them a different C-pillar shape, which is very important aerodynamically because the C-pillar controls how the air gets to the rear spoiler. Let's take a look at the rear spoiler. We've shown you the changes that were made to the 1998 Ford Taurus. This is something that hasn't changed, the rear deck lid and spoiler. This deck lid and spoiler, coupled with the changes that were made to the 1998 Ford Taurus, should give them a car that has equal or better rear downforce with less drag. And drag was a problem with the 1998 Ford Taurus. Let's have a look at the new Monte Carlo. While Ford brought a modified version of the 98 Taurus, the only thing Chevrolet brought back that was the same was the name Monte Carlo. Starting at the front of the car, compared to our 99 Monte Carlo, very similar, but a minor radius change here in what we call the headlight area. Completely new hood. Going back to major changes in the greenhouse. The roof is 3 inches shorter, which changes the angle of the front and rear glass. It could be better aerodynamically. Moving back to the C-pillar area, another major change. The 99 Monte Carlo, very round and smooth in the C-pillar area. The 2000 Monte Carlo has a very unique shape here. Now this area is very, very critical aerodynamically. If you get this shape right, it can help you. If you get it wrong, it can hurt you. Let's go back and have a look at the all-new deck lid. Again, major changes at the rear of the car. The car is very sharp and very square in the taillight and rear bumper area, which is better aerodynamically. The 1999 Monte Carlo had a very flat deck lid with a spoiler that had some radius in plan view or top view. The 2000 Monte Carlo has a raised portion in the center of the deck lid which raises the spoiler, which creates more downforce. Now that downforce comes with the penalty of drag, which might have been why the Monte Carlos weren't as good as they wanted to be in qualifying.
On paper and to a certain extent, there was balance on the racetrack among the three manufacturers in the Winston Cup Series. Of course, 8 of the 9 Pontiac wins belonged to Joe Gibbs Racing. Jeff Gordon accounted for 7 of the 12 Chevrolet wins, and Jeff Burton contributed 6 of the Ford victories. And it is a pleasure to welcome Ray Evernham to our ESPN team. You look very comfortable down there in Victory Lane.
It's a nice place to be, and I know I've got a lot of work to do before I can get back there again.
And you hope to be back there a year from right now, don't you?
That'd be great. That'd be a great way to start.
Well, Dodge is different, but if you had to pick one of the current manufacturers in Winston Cup racing, Pontiac, Chevrolet, or Ford, to race here on Sunday, which one would you want?
First day on the job, you're going to get me in trouble, Bill.
That's right.
I don't know, first of all, that the car with the best aerodynamics is going to win this race, but if you had to look at the combination of drag versus downforce, I would say right now it looks like the Taurus has a better package.
If the Chevrolet drivers feel they're behind, and they seem to feel that way, they shouldn't blame NASCAR. They should probably blame Chevrolet, because that's who designed the car, correct?
I don't know that blame is the right word to use, but they're in the development stages. Whenever you bring a brand new car, as Ford did with the Taurus in 1998, you're going to struggle a little bit. Lots of times what looks good on paper or in the wind tunnel doesn't really work on the racetrack, so it's going to take them a little bit of time to get the balance worked out on that car.
So we should see these cars get better week by week, race by race.
Absolutely. The guys in the garage area are the best mechanics and the smartest guys in the world as far as I'm concerned, and I think that the car will be a lot better by the time we go to Talladega, and by the time we get back here in July, I think that they should be pretty equal with everybody else.
A number of new driver crew chief combinations. How long does it take that combination to click?
A lot of that depends on not only how well the driver and crew chief gel, but there are a lot of other important team members that crew chief has to learn to communicate with. So how he learns to understand the driver as well as the other members of that team dictates how long it'll take.
Okay, well, I hope you adjust to our team quickly. We're looking forward to your analysis on ESPN and on ABC this year.
Thank you.
Ray Evernham, the newest member of our broadcast team. Coming up as we continue from Daytona, a veteran driver who hopes to be the next star at Robert Yates Racing.
I get a lot of letters like, "Dear John, I've got a dead alien. What should I do with it?" One word. Barbecue.
If you think all ATVs are created equal, you've never ridden a Yamaha. The new Kodiak 400 Automatic and Big Bear 400 from Yamaha. 'Cause out here, bears rule. Now, get low payments on every Yamaha ATV, starting at just $69 a month during Yamaha All-Terrain Value Days.
Now get the Wall Street Journal delivered for 13 weeks at just 57 cents a day, a 25% savings.
Call now 800-854-2200. That's 800-854-2200 for the Wall Street Journal.
The website is so important. We use it all day, every single day.
It's great to see who the scoring leaders are and how many goals Yager has. Everything I need I get on this website.
Now you can't do that. The devil stopped using the Nutrizone trap.
The information is completely fresh 24 hours a day. A lot of research, a lot of fact-checking, stats. Who do I like? You're talking to them. I think the guys out there, really rely on it pretty much all the time. Who's hot? Who's not? Who's hotter?
ESPN.com. Go where the pros go.
The goal for every driver in the race on Sunday, get to the stage in New York in December. Mike Skinner and Ward Burton both achieved that goal last season. And while they are not considered favorites in the championship chase, they both hope to improve on their accomplishments this season.
I don't know that this team or myself is ready to go out and win the championship, but I think we are going to be a threat to win some races. And if the new 2000 Monte Carlo development stage comes along and NASCAR puts us on a level playing field, I think we're going to be okay.
What really we want to be able to do is jump back in the top 5. We'll jump in the top 5 and be consistent there instead of being in the top 10 consistently. That's a tall order. To do that, we got to knock some of the guys out, or at least a couple of the guys out that are in the top 5 pretty consistent.
For 8 straight seasons from 1989 to 1996, Ricky Rudd was a regular in the top 10 in points, but he has finished outside the top 10 in each of the last 3 seasons, including 31st in 1999. But this is a new year, a new team, and a renewed Ricky Rudd. Safe to say?
Well, Bill, it's a lot different circumstances than what I've been in the last couple of years. You know, we sort of saw the handwriting on the wall. The last couple of years, we really didn't have the resources to pull from to build a solid team, and we had, had a lot of failures along the way, and it like I always just say, it wasn't going like we wanted it to.
That car is a fan favorite. You've always been a fan favorite. A good combination to take that 28 back to victory lane.
Well, it's a powerful organization. I can't say enough about how fortunate I am to have a chance to drive for that Robert Yates organization, the Texaco Havoline Taurus, and a lot of good people. We tried to do it with just a handful of people, and they were good, but a handful versus an army is a big difference when you have that much depth behind you.
It was an eye-opening experience going over there, wasn't it?
Well, it really was. I didn't really realize what we were up against until I had a chance to go through the shops and tour the engine facilities and see what we were actually up against. And probably if I'd saw that probably 2 years earlier, I probably would have threw the towel in at that time.
You have challenged for the Winston Cup Championship before. You expect a challenge for it again this year?
Well, I really do, and I know everyone this time of year is telling you how great their season's going to be, but if we don't finish in the top 5 or top 10, I think probably the pressure is going to be on me. Maybe I'm not getting the job done, because all the tools are there. Now we've got to take those tools and sharpen them, and Mike McSwain, all the guys on the Texaco team, they got to pull together as a group. But everything that you need to go out and win a championship and win races is there. Again, no guarantees. You got to go out there and bring those guys together as a group.
You took your family to Disney World before you came to Daytona. Did that prepare you for the shootout?
Well, yeah, I guess that was able to keep me relaxed while that's a pretty stretched out race, and actually went into it and had a lot of fun in the race. We've had a good speed week, so the results haven't been exactly like we would like to, but we're sitting on the front row for the Daytona 500. Nearly could have won the Bud shootout. We ended up finishing on our roof, but it wasn't a bad, violent wreck, and I'm in great shape, and the car didn't fare as well, but we're still sitting here with a front row spot for the Daytona 500 with an awfully fast car that is faster than the one I had in the Bud shootout. So I'm excited about it, and our major goal is to run well, try to win races, but don't bend this car up, save it for the 500.
Best of luck to you this season, especially here at Daytona.
Thank you, Bill.
Ricky Rudd in a new ride this season, just one of several drivers in a new ride for 2000. He has 20 career wins. Hopefully that number 21 could come here on Sunday. Nemechek looking for career win number 2. Schrader hoping you spell victory M&M's. Erwin Nadeau and Dallenbach still seeking that first win. And of course, the key crew chief change during the offseason, Robbie Loomis leaving Petty Enterprises and joining Jeff Gordon. In a moment, we'll wrap up our pre-race report. Benny will be back for one final look ahead before they go green.
You know, Patty, I'm convinced men prefer blondes. And what type of men would this be, Daisy? The same type that prefer Miller Lite because it's so smooth. Oh, those? Well, the ones with great taste love Miller Lite because it tastes great. And by the way, prefer brunettes. Oh, if they prefer brunettes, why do they drink a beer that's smooth and blonde? Because it's a natural blonde.
Miller Lite. Taste the true Pilsner.
Yeah, like men care.
Check it out.
Hello.
That's funny. I didn't order a pizza.
It's not delivery. It's DiGiorno.
Oh, nice toppings.
And dude, are you gonna cut that pizza or what?
For fresh baked pizza at home, it's not delivery, it's DiGiorno.
A rivalry is only as good as the players involved. With Mike Richter and Eric Lindros, you have one of hockey's best matchups. Flyers, Rangers, tomorrow at 8, only on ESPN. This is the game.
ESPN and ESPN2, home of the Women's NCAA Basketball Championship.
It has been a fabulous 2 weeks here in Daytona. Great to see the fans, and we look forward to what we believe will be our best year of Winston Cup coverage ever. Benny Parsons is back with us, and Benny, we've seen some great racing. What we'd like to see is a little closer competition on the track this year.
Well, that was a big concern I had beginning this year's Daytona 500. I watched testing in January. The cars just didn't seem to close up. But I find out now that when the tires are cold and really get a good grip, they do have trouble closing up. But once those tires get hot, And with this new shock rules, the cars really start moving and bouncing around. When they start that, I think we're going to see some great side-by-side racing. But now when we go to Rockingham, Atlanta, Las Vegas, you're right. We want to see more side-by-side racing, not nose to tail.
And I'll enjoy the entire season sharing it with you on NASCAR Today on Sunday morning.
Me too, Bill.
Okay, we'll see you then. Now, Sunday, we'll have the pre-race warm-up for you live from right here at Daytona. The final moments leading up to the command to start the new season. RPM Today takes the green at 11 a.m. Eastern Time. Then it's NASCAR Today at 11:30. And the race is never over until Reese says so, Sunday night at 10:30. And Monday, it's Kernan at our new home in Charlotte at 6:30. And here's the schedule for the entire week. Write it on the back of the remote and don't miss a minute. Don't forget, the pre-race coverage begins Sunday morning at 11 o'clock. Thanks for having us in for the show. Enjoy the race, and so long from Daytona.